What is going on, everybody? This is the STiKS show thing. I'm a bobber that we are here, and we have somebody with us today, Hitch, in his hunting attire because he knows I'm going hunting this weekend. Don't you?
This has been the worst startup to the show.
Hey, that was me. Okay, your camera froze, by the way. This has been the absolute. Anyways, guys, we have Apathy with us today. How's it going, Apathy?
Going great, man. And you?
I'm short, fat, and happy. Thank you for asking.
As long as you're happy.
That's right. Or fat. One of the two.
Well, both is best, actually. You can be both.
Yeah, I love the picture that Hitch's camera froze on.
Oh, that's
It's
an
just a
excellent
black
picture.
Is it still froze?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's frozen.
Oh,
With an
my
orange, strange-looking hat on. So we usually kick off the show. I wanted to show you guys my pizza. I went to Papa John's. Do you have Papa John's where you guys live at?
Yep.
Yeah.
Papa John's is national, right, or global,
Yeah.
or whatever.
National.
So I went to Papa John's and ordered a medium takeout because pepperoni pizza, and it was like $6 or something on special. And I came back 15 minutes later, and the guy hands me a large box, and I was like, for a second, I just wanted to walk away, but then I went back and I said, "Is this a medium?" And he was like, "Well, we just decided to upgrade you." I was like, "Oh, sweet." I don't know why. Like, they just give me a larger pizza. So you guys know how we usually start the STiKS. We kick off the show giving introductions. So I'm going to let Fatty go first, and then Hitch, and then Apathy, and myself. And today, you're going to say your name, affiliations that you have in the community, in the Call of Duty community, and if you could choose one duo to play a doubles tournament with, got to be a pro player, who would it be? Fatty, you're first.
Oh, shoot. Okay, my name is Smiting Fatty. I am a washed up caster. You can use Fatty, Fatty, if you don't know how to spell, for discounts off of Gamma and Cinch controllers. If I was a doubles.
So you only pick one person.
Oh, that's hard. I would have to choose not Apathy.
Oh, great.
No, I'm just kidding. I would have to say Sharp. I would probably have the funnest with Sharp. But if I absolutely wanted to win and wanted somebody to carry me, I would have to say there's three people: Karma, Apathy, or Scump.
I like that list.
All right, go ahead, Hitch.
All right. My camera is just, I don't know what's going on.
It's freezing in great
ridiculous.
positions though.
It is. That's
It's
a nice
freaking
spot.
every time I do
There we
anything,
go.
like the thing flashes. All right, I'm Hitch. I make videos for Gamma. I don't know what's happening for Gamma. I used to for UMG and also for TK and things like that. If I had a duo, probably Pac-Man, just because he stands up and yells at everybody. So that's just all I would want. I would want that experience to just stand up and have the opportunity to yell at somebody. So that's what I would do.
All right, Apathy.
All right, I'm Apathy. Play for FaZe. A lot of you guys already know that. Shout out to Scuff Gaming and G Fuel. Use code Apathy for 5% off Scuff and 10% off G Fuel. And if I would have had a duo, it would definitely be Sensor, because he's just my duo. He's been my duo for about 10 months now, even though we stopped teaming for about 2 months. And I feel like we'll dominate everybody.
Well, you proved that at the last event. So my name is Kingdom Soldier. This is my show that we're on right now, the STiKS, and I do some stuff on YouTube. I eat pizza when I'm hungry, and since I'm going last, forget those other codes that those guys just told you. Use code Kingdom for 10% off G Fuel at gfuel.com. So if I had to choose a duo, it would be in the Call of Duty community. I kind of want to say Apathy, and I have good reason, but I'm gonna say Actually, it would be either Apathy or Crim. It'd be Crim because we could go dominate local land, and I could just sit there with and not even touch the controller and let him win all of the events. It would be Apathy because I was just telling somebody the other day when he was going to be on. It was actually Goalie, my producer. I was telling him that Apathy is just a genuinely nice guy. Like,
It's true.
I tweet a lot of pros because the guys that have been on the show, the coaches and the owners and all those guys that have been on the show. But Apathy was excited to be on the show, and that was his response. Was like, great, he was going to be down, and I know he was traveling and all that stuff, and I appreciate it. So that would probably be my duo because I'm a nice guy, and I want to team with somebody that's nice. And he might yell at me because I'm the number one detriment, and my KD is probably like 0.6, but who cares? Nobody plays that game anyway unless they have to, so they can win prize money. All right.
That's true.
So I'm gonna switch over to Hitch, and Hitch is gonna give us an event recap. So I watched all of Friday, like all of it. I watched the end of Sunday. I definitely watched the last match, and then I watched barely anything on Saturday. I just watched Twitter basically to see what was going on. Make sure you guys are tweeting out the stream. We're nowhere near the amount of viewers that I know have been waiting for the show, but the ticker is probably also going up slow. So you guys make sure you tweet out the stream, twitch.tv/kingdom_soldier. And so I'm going to let Hitch do the event recap because I wasn't there.
All right. So the venue was the best venue I've ever seen for UMG. It was so spacious. It was probably legitimately 4 times the size of Dallas. The open bracket was really spacious. The booths were pretty awesome. Like the sponsor booths, and then also the soundproof booths were cool. There was a player lounge where all of the pro players got to actually have a little bit of space and just hang out. And then there was also a warm-up station. So that was cool. Though the way the tournament was set up was kind of weird. They did it a lot like I think some LCSs do it or LCS. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. Like it was like basically you could lose 3 times and still still win the event. You could pool play was a lot different than regular pool play.
Yeah.
Can you explain it more?
Well, it was more like Black Ops 1 pool play. Basically, even if you lose in pool play, you still get sent to losers brackets. You're just in a lower seed compared to others. So let's say you get last in pool play, I think you're top 24. You get third, you're top 16. If you get second, you're top 12, and then if you get first, you're automatically top 6, and you won your pool and you advance to winner semis. So that's the difference. I like pool play, to be honest. And I believe pool play was in X Games. And the way it was different. It was pretty bad. I believe there was no winner finals. It's just grand finals. There's just finals. I didn't really like that format, so I'm happy they brought it back. It's a lot more fair, and you get to warm up. You get to fix your mistakes early on. So as you advance throughout the tournament, you have a higher chance of winning and becoming better.
Yeah, it was crazy. I enjoyed it as well. It definitely makes for really long days. But besides that, I mean, you get a lot of, it's crazy because Rise, or whoever wins their pool, has to wait a little bit to play. And then these people that come last in their pool, grind out, they play all day long, if they keep winning. So, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. That's fun. I mean, what else do you want me to talk about?
What was it? Well, you were there, right?
Yeah.
So were you kind of surprised by any of the placings? That some of the teams, what were the reactions and things like that from the pros?
I think EG, obviously they were upset, but I don't know. They literally look so carefree. I mean, Krim was upset, but then the next day he was laughing about it and everything. I don't know. I just feel like Optic Nation, I saw them right when they lost, and they looked heartbroken. This is terrible. They looked so upset. And then as far as people winning, I think some people had really cool reactions and things like that. But I mean, it was just a weird tournament as far as placings. like especially with Optination and EG placing so low. Like it's just weird.
It doesn't even make like hearing top 16 and EG. That actually just sounds weird. It sounds strange. Like it doesn't really go together. Unless it's like top 16, but they actually got top 3 or something like that. I thought it was from what I saw, the event was good. The venue seemed good. There was a lot of technical difficulties with UMG. Everybody's talked about it. I know they're going to work on it. Puckett actually said on the ESR, he said they need a Puckett. I thought that was funny. It's like, did he just say that UMG needs him to have successful events? But I thought the event was good. The final was epic. In my opinion, that last match, I remember racing home on Sunday because I was looking at Twitter and I was like, oh, okay. Because I said on Twitter that I would follow 10 people if FaZe won because they had to win 2 best of 5s. I was like, okay, I'm not going to have to follow 10 people. I'm going to believe in your guys' potential, but normally the other team ends up winning. And so when it got to game 5 and you guys won, I was like, oh, crap. I was like, this might actually happen. So I raced home, turned on the stream, and I watched. And I remember the listen-in of game 4 in the second round of best of 5s and the listen-in for Denial. And I could hear how mad Study was, how frustrated he was. He did the worst on his team in that map. I think it was Octane, maybe.
Octane Dom, yeah. Yeah,
Octane Dom. But it was epic because when he said that, he immediately went over to, he said, this is our best S&D. We got this. And then game 5, it was clear that you guys won. I mean, it was like, we got this, So I want to kind of go into some questions, some kind of recap questions. And so I'll start with you, Apathy, and then we'll kind of go to Hitch and then Fatty. Right. But what was your guys' biggest surprise of UMG Nashville? Like what shocked you the most about the event in general?
I guess winning the event, I mean, that's pretty shocking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we placed 12 at 12th place at Dallas, and it was really heartbreaking, and we felt like we deserved way better placing, and we could have played way better. And coming to Nashville, I told everybody my high expectations. I was telling everybody, we're winning this event. I'm winning this event. I don't care what I have to do, how I have to play, but I'm winning. And I just kept that mentality throughout the tournament. And when we got knocked down to losers, even though I played really well throughout that whole series, I was kind of, I would say depressed, but demoralized a little bit. And I still kept that mentality like I'm winning this event no matter what. And we played so many matches on that Sunday. We did the loser bracket run, and it was exhausting. It was tiring, but in the end, the most shocking part was when we won. I just like when it actually happens, when you win the event, it's the best thing ever, best feeling ever. After all that hard work and time put in, and all that minute round by round S&D minutes and DOMs, and you pull through, and it's just amazing. It was shocking but amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. That was actually a question that somebody had asked me on Twitter. They were asking if you were surprised that you guys won based on, all the crazy drama and stuff that took place before the event. Hitch, what was your biggest surprise of UMG Nashville?
The venue. Venue was gorgeous. It looked like right when you walked in, it reminded me like of Anaheim, MLG Anaheim. It was like if MLG Anaheim was only one, if it didn't have Smash and it didn't have Dota, this is what it would look like. It was just like where it was like you walk in, it's like a warehouse kind of thing, but then it's dark. There's lights going everywhere. There's main stage stations like right when you walk in. The open bracket was over there on the side. It was crazy. They really. I talked to Robert, and he just like he was just happy. He was just happy that nobody's gonna roast UMG constantly about how small the venue is. So
let me ask you something, Hitch. You used to work with UMG.
Yeah.
But you don't work for them anymore, so you're not afraid of Jeff.
Don't say that.
Oh, okay. You're still trying to keep good relationships. Well, let me just ask you this. UMG seems to consistently have some type of audio issues. Did did they put too much in this event in how it was going to look, but not pay enough attention? Or was it just literally like fluke? It just happened, wrong place, wrong time type of deal with the audio issues that they were having and stuff like that,
Um,
in your opinion?
UMG won't tell you this. Like people that work for UMG won't tell you this.
Mhm.
But the Xbox Ones blow. Like they're so bad as far as like setting things up. Like every event that there's been an Xbox One, there's been troubles. And you know, like what was it, like an hour and a half to try to start the Stunner versus OG game? Literally, that was just because they were just trying to get the Xbox Ones to work, and then Stunner, like the Stunner guys, like kept ending the game, and like things like kept happening. Like as far as like, I get so upset like when people tweet about UMG because there's not a lot. You know, they put a lot in.
Yeah.
See, Mr. X is in the chat, and he just did the closed. Like he's not going to say anything. It's like 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 it's like they put so much effort and so much time into making the production sick. Like they had those like the player cards this time and like different transitions and things, and it was sick. But like you have to run 50 minutes of ads in order to set up the Xbox One. So that's what that's all about.
So the Xbox Ones. All right.
Yeah.
So Fatty, did you even have a most surprising moment, or did you watch enough to actually answer that question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And it's based off of stats. Like I'm sitting here looking at the stats right now.
Mhm.
Did you know Apathy had the best S&D KD?
I did.
1.55. That's kind of crazy over 12 maps, especially. I know, Brian, you're a good player. Like I've always known it.
Yeah.
I've known you are good at S&D, but I don't. I don't want to say I'm going to sell you short, but I didn't think you would be number one in S&D, and I think
Understandable.
that's the reason why you guys won.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I'm just gonna piggyback on that then for my surprise, and it was Censor's Dom caps. Since we're talking about stats, this dude capped 92 flags. He capped 40 more flags than the
Holy
person in
crap.
second place, which was Scump. 92. How do you like? That's just utterly ridiculous. 92. Like,
Nate Shot had 54 caps.
that's what I'm saying. He capped
Oh.
40 more than the
That's
person
crazy.
behind him. Like, that's
What?
ridiculous. And so I think that and I have a question for App later on this, but I think that Censor really, I mean, when you hear the word OBJ
Oh, that doesn't
and
make sense.
the statistic of 92 Dom caps comes behind it, that's how this team, you guys dominated S&D at this event. You played best on your worst map. I mean, it was utterly ridiculous. But on top of that, you did good in the respawns. Your guys' KDs were good in the respawns. And then you had someone who, and that A flag cap on Octane domination in the second best of 5 in game 4 that Censor did, in my opinion, saved that game for you guys. And so I think he was making really good decisions. We couldn't hear the listening, so I don't know if that was like somebody said go cap A, but the fact that, go ahead, did somebody say that, or was that just a Censor kind of?
Well, it's like when you're playing that map and you have a 2 cap and you're in a spawn. I remember me getting a couple kills in a spawn and then I died and then Censor was able to take over. And when you're there, they always spawn out strip, so it allows you to cap A easier. Obviously, he had like pressure and people running at him, but it's just like a thing you usually do. No one really has to say it. If you want to win and get that 3 cap, you just do it instantly. That's what every pro player does. But like he did his part and he did it, and he went huge for us and actually helped us win the map.
Yeah, he stepped up in that map, and you all did great, especially at the close of that when you guys got the 3 cap on denial. I was like, oh crap. Like they're not gonna win this. They're gonna lose this map. And once Censor rolled over and got A, and I think they grabbed B right after that, it was like you guys kept your lead and it was over. I mean, that was it. And I heard the guys on denial, like I said before, like you could tell they were defeated, and I think that carried into the search, and they didn't want to play you guys in that search and destroy, and you searched and destroyed them. So GG's. That was good games. All right, so let me ask you guys, and Apathy, you're gonna have to pick somebody else. You'll probably pick Censor, but
Alright.
Who was your MVP of the event? And I'll start with Apathy, and then I'll go Hitch, Fatty, myself.
Wait, what do you mean? Who was the MVP other than me?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of a hard one. I think my whole team played amazing. All of them had their moments, so it's kind of hard to say. But if I were to, it's a hard question.
Do you want to say all of FaZe?
Yeah, I'll say that. All the FaZe, like they all did their parts and they all had like huge plays that helped us win maps and win series. So like, I really don't want to choose anyone else.
Okay.
Dude, you nomming on that pizza is killing me.
I'm hungry.
The MVP of UMG. That's who I'm choosing.
UMG Nashville, yeah.
Sorry. MVP. MVP of UMG Nashville is 100% Mr. X. Because he set up the event, tore down the event, casted the event, and then when he wasn't casting, he was running around fixing things. And they didn't eat. Him and Maven and Duff, they didn't eat. They never slept. Dude, those people worked harder at this event. It's crazy because all the casters were involved with other things, and they had to hold down both streams because we were in a lack of casters, and it was just crazy. So, I mean, obviously, FaZe, y'all killed it, but I was just saying as far as the actual
oh yeah, that's
event,
hard,
you know
man.
what I mean? Dude, I couldn't do it. There's no way.
See, Fatty, this is what I'm talking about. Lack of casters. You could have been there.
If I had the money for the plane ticket and the time off of work, I would have been there. I wanted to be there. That's why I didn't watch. It's super depressing. Yeah. Wow.
Didn't watch Feature Station, that's for sure.
All right, Fatty, go ahead. Who's your MVP of the event?
And I'm basing this just off of stats and not because he's here, but Apathy's team won. But I mean, dude, you carried a freaking 1.19 over 37 maps. KD. There's not too many people. Like, Hook had the best KD. He only played 5 maps. I could do that every once in a while. Scump was up there. Everybody knows he's been called the best player a bunch of times. And I saw tweets saying this is why Scump's called the best player, more than once during the weekend. And then
6-piece, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. I did see that actually. But Apathy would have to be, and that was because FaZe won. His KD overall. S&D, going back to that, it takes, S&D wins championships. If you have the best S&D player, you should be winning. I'm also actually surprised only 5 maps for Burns Off, but his S&D KD was crazy too. But Apathy's was the best over 12 maps.
It's crazy.
I want to say one thing.
Go ahead.
I know I have a really good KD, but the worst part of it all is the fact that at the start of the tournament, we played Salvo Gaming, and I don't like making excuses, but I wasn't going as hard as I usually do, and I played average. I probably had a one point KD, so I started off my KD really bad, and throughout the tournament, I guess I've managed to raise it up. But in the end, it's just KD matters to a certain extent. As long as you're doing the plays, and everyone's doing their part, you're usually gonna win the map. Just like how I think MW beat us on the S&D map. I think went 6-5 with Classic going 0-11, and they still managed to win the map, which was pretty mind blowing.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember people tweeting about that 0-11.
Yeah,
they won 6-5, and
that's a fatty score.
I think if I had to choose an MVP, just because Big Snacks is in the chat, I'm gonna say Optic Ricky. No, I'm just joking. Big Snacks calls me an Optic fanboy, so I always have to, live up to the hype every once in a while. But I had to talk about Optic at least once, or Snacks wouldn't be able to call me an Optic fanboy. So I think that I would say you were a censor. I wish there was more listen-ins. There wasn't enough for me to because the one thing we don't get to see as a spectator that's not at the venue is the communication, and especially with the booths, soundproof booths when you're on main stage, it's or feature, whatever you guys called it. We don't get to hear your communication. So sometimes I've seen, if I'm watching on stream, I'll see a team where Nade Shot might not do the best, but he might have been the player on his team, or Clayster might be the player on the team to hype them up and get them going. And so it might be that Censor was the key to your guys' successful communication. Maybe you were just all playing like old school Freako, not really talking to each other. I mean, I don't know, but
yeah.
I would have to say you statistically, especially because you played like 10 more maps than Scump. And I mean, but if I look at the clutches that came up and the consistency that I haven't, no bad talk, but I haven't necessarily seen out of Censor in the past, except for when you guys won regionals,
Yeah.
I think that it would either be one of the two of you. I mean, maybe you're just the MVP duo. But if I had to choose without the information of how you guys communicated, I would say that you got it. I would say you well-deserved MVP.
I mean, for the most part, we all communicated really well. None of us. What I liked about Censor, he at moments like in finals, there's about one or two times where, I mean, there wasn't really much to say, but we would get quiet. Like it was just in the middle of the game. There's nothing to call out, but he would keep going like talk, everybody talk.
Yeah.
And even though there wasn't nothing to say, like it kind of helped us, I guess, talk a little bit more with the little things. But overall, we all like throughout the whole tournament communicated really well. Like I know if you see us play online sometimes, like maybe I'm quiet sometimes or Karma's quiet, but like when it comes to LAN, it's not like that at all. We're all screaming, we're all yelling at the top of our lungs. Our communication is really well, and that's what helps us win maps, and that's what helps us with our teamwork and stuff like that.
All right. So I'm gonna ask one last question of you guys for the recap, and then we're gonna take a small commercial break, and then we're gonna ask Apathy some questions and get to some questions from Twitter from you guys. If you want to ask a question, just start tweeting now at myself or Smiting Fatty. You can see our Twitter handles on the screen, and make sure you hashtag the STiKS, STiKS, and nobody's ever noticed that there's a KS at the end of it. It's so cool. It's just like happened that way, and it's a capital KS. It's just so. Anyway, so tweet at us and ask us any questions that you have for Apathy, and we'll try to pull some out if we can. So my last question before we go into the interview portion is, and Apathy again, I'm gonna let you go last, and this is one of those questions you don't have to answer.
Okay.
I'll start with Fatty and then go Hitch, myself, and Apathy. What do you see as the most likely roster change? Like what do you see as the first roster change that's going to happen before Advanced Warfare comes out?
Out of the teams that attended,
any team.
Justice is going to be different.
You took an easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
What in the world?
Jeez.
He said Justice. You could have said SB or something.
Yeah.
I think Stunner Gold might switch up the roster.
I had to think. I hate you guys. Shoot. I don't even. Before this, I would have said FaZe, because all you ever heard about was them fighting, right? Or at least Apathy sitting there, trying to play peacekeeper among everybody. But Karma like yelling at people. I would have said FaZe, especially if they didn't win. Right now, I think it's going to be EG. I think Crim6 leaves. Dito, they made him to be the scapegoat. At least, everybody has been. Even though I think Dito would have fit perfectly with those guys, maybe with a little bit more time. But, I think it's going to be EG.
Okay. Hitch?
I don't think it'll be EG because they still have contracts. Like even Karma still has a contract. He's on loan or whatever. So that's like, I mean, I don't know if they'll get the EG. Like, I don't think EG will renew their contracts. I don't know what's going to happen with that situation. So I'm just going to stay away from that. And I think, I don't know. I don't want obviously I don't want Optic Nation to change their roster up. But I think that
they got their hand slaps down.
They got their chemistry stuff. It gets awkward in here.
This is such a hard question.
I think that I don't even know, man. We do this. Anything could happen, especially with Ghosts. I think Envy might switch somebody.
Ooh,
Is
okay.
that some inside intel?
Oh yeah, you
No.
live near them, don't you?
And I think Stunner Gold's roster might change up a little bit.
So this is like my outside view of things, and I was gonna make a video on this, but whatever. You guys just hear it on the STiKS. So as I'm watching all the teams right now, number one, we've had like 4 or 5 different people win tournaments in the last 6 or 7, and you can't count any team out. You know, when me and Puckett were on ESR and I made the worst predictions of my life ever, one of the things I said is that if FaZe doesn't get top 3, their team's going to break up. I said if Curse doesn't get top 8, their team's going to break up. I said they're probably going to break up no matter what. But if they don't get top 8, it's for sure going to happen the next day. Like before they leave the venue, they'll be trying to get on new teams. If what was the other team I said? There was one more team. I think it was EG. If they didn't finish top 8, they would be looking to break their contracts if they could, or make some trades, because they can trade the contracts and things like that, owner to owner. But I looked at that team and I said, if they don't get it together, this is their last event. And TK finished in top 8. FaZe won the event, so that really killed my FaZe is going to break up thoughts. Like I was like Fatty looking at everything. I was like, you know, if somebody offered Apathy a spot on a better team, you know, on a team that for his own personal growth was going to help him to grow and all that, like Envy or Optic or EG, you know, it's like I would have thought, oh, he's going to take that for sure. You know, like I thought Formal would have taken Optic when he supposedly was offered, you know, a month ago or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of like you're weighing apples and oranges when it comes to Envy and Optic. Hex is going to hate me if he ever hears that statement. But I just think popularity and personal growth-wise, they're both pretty big teams. So I honestly think that by some happenstance, roster mania might be roster mania, like it was when we thought all the craziness was going to take place when FaZe and EG switched. And that was my prediction. I said, I bet you Dito's going to go over to EG and Karma's going to go to FaZe. Like that just makes the most sense. Sensor said it in the video. It did make sense. It sounded like possible, and it happened. And I think we're not going to see as many roster changes as we think we are now. When the season's over, Apathy, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you can trade whoever you want to wherever you want as long as there's not a contract involved, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so once season 3, the playoffs are about to happen. Once it's over, between season 3 and the first event for season 1, you can switch rosters and go crazy. But everybody seems happy. You know, you're seeing pros take pictures all together. And you guys look like you're having so much freaking fun. Even the tweets were nice, you know, at this event. I didn't see a lot of people. Like at Dallas, it was like the minute a match would end, somebody would be like, "You suck. Did you see me turn on you?" Blah, blah. You know, it's like you guys just all seem more positive, like a better community. Maybe you're doing it on purpose or intentionally, but I think it's headed in the right direction as far as positivity goes from the pros. But I mean, EG probably should make a trade. Optic Nation probably should make a trade. You know, if they find out that they're going to be consistently better online and not going to finish in the top on LAN, they're probably going to want to make a trade. So either one of those teams, I still believe that TK might break up. You know, that's still an option. And I remember when Sharp was on the show, he didn't like say, no way, we're stuck together. You know, he was like, well, you know, anything's possible.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
So that's my opinion. Apathy, before we go to commercial break, do you have an opinion on what team you think might make a roster change in the near future?
I think TK is going to make a roster change. I think EG is going to make a roster change. I think Optic Nation is going to make a roster change. I think Envy might make a roster change.
He knows some stuff.
Intel.
Envy, Optic, small chance, but I think the main 3 teams are EG, Optic Nation, and TK. I think if there's a big chance they're gonna at least change one player. I don't know who yet, but that's all I'm saying.
All right, that's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Yes.
Is FaZe making a roster change?
FaZe, I think it all depends on after season 3 playoffs, depending on who places where. I think Curse is gonna make roster change as well.
Oh,
This depends on the players, how players perform, and what team places what place, and all that stuff. Is after that event is over, I think everything's going to go down, and DMs are going to be sent, and we'll see from there.
Everybody's
All right.
sliding.
Yeah,
Sliding-
slide into the DMs.
Sliding into the DMs. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Tweet out the stream. Don't go anywhere. When we get back, we're going to ask some questions of Apathy, and we're going to get to your questions from Twitter.